Sitting between the Mediterranean and the Alps, the town of Grasse has been the perfume capital of the world for 3 centuries. On the surrounding hills, acres of colourful flowers are grown. Once transformed, they'll produce the most breathtaking fragrances. In May, the finest of the crop comes into bloom, the Centifolia Rose, a flowering gem that comes from the Caucasus. As soon as the sun comes up, Carole Biancalana's family is out capturing its ephemeral and delicate scent, as they have done for 3 generations.
They're really sensitive. It takes just 15 minutes for them to turn from a bud into a fully open rose. We pick the roses from their base with a twist like this, but without breaking the other buds. This one here isn't ready, for example. That one's for tomorrow, whereas all these here are open. As soon as you see the stamen, it's ready to be picked. During the morning's harvest, you hear thousands of little sounds like this. After all the hard work that we've put in during winter, we all have just one wish, and that's to smell this explosion of scents that occurs only in May. It's very short-lived and intense, and has to be explosive like that every time we come to harvest. This very special, very complex scent comes from the land here. The climate is temperate and is influenced by the mountains on one side and the sea on the other. These saline qualities, just like with grapevines, add something very unique to these roses.
Carole now shows the morning's harvest to one of the best noses in the world, François Dumachy. Born and raised in Grasse, he now creates perfumes for Dior.
It's always fantastic, and the smell is just astounding. The scent of the rose has this particularity, which allows it to be blended with lots of other products. Then, of course, it's just a question of taste. It's very precious and expensive, so we keep it only for very special uses. That's certainly the case for J'adore l'or, where we mix the rose and the jasmine from Grasse.
If the scents found around Grasse are exceptional, then the know-how to transform them into perfume is even more so. Hidden away in these narrow streets, over 30 renowned perfume makers, like Fragonard or Molinard, conjure up creations that are sold across the globe. This morning's harvest is gathered, and Carole has brought her sacks of fragile petals to the Maison Robertet factory.
The quicker we process the flowers, the better the finished product will be. To get a great perfume, we have to be on time as soon as the petals come in from the fields.
The ritual here is always the same. The flowers are placed in an extractor to be infused at 45 degrees Celsius, steeped in a solvent that brings out their deep fragrances.
We still make perfume in a traditional way. Nothing has changed. It's the same process that was used 50 or 60 years ago. The big perfume houses don't want their products to change. They want them to be exactly the same every time.
The cooked rose petals are now lifted out of their vats. It's only after 24 hours of distillation that the solvent is removed. A concentrate of all the aromas is then put aside, which sets like a wax, known as the concrete. And in order to get 2 kilograms of this precious wax, a ton of rose petals is needed.
This is a truly heavenly privilege. There are literally thousands of hours worth of harvesting right here, all concentrated. When we have the concrete, it's really the first time we've captured the scent, because you can't keep a fresh flower forever.
The next steps are a closely guarded secret. Filtered, then soaked in alcohol, the concrete is transformed into pure essence. But perfume makers will decant just a few tiny drops of this precious oil when they come to blend their latest creation.